And so we return to do this like we normally would do. Yes, AFCON is over. The Nations Cup is done and dusted. The Eagles flew as high as they could. The wings were eventually clipped in the final. So back to earth we all return. Good morning, Nigeria. Thank you for being a part of our continuing broadcasts of the matters that matter to you. Kofi Batel, such a fine pleasure to be in the studio again with you this morning.
The pleasure is mine. I mean, in the presence of greatness.
You know, there has been this mind-boggling banter going on social media in the last couple of weeks. The way Africans like to banter. And I don't think there is any banter, any sub-regional banter that's as interesting as Nigerians and Ghanaians.
Absolutely.
And that's because there's this very nice affinity between Nigerians and Ghanaians. We are like, we are closest siblings, right? And so we like to play with each other, and so because we are very close, we fight, a whole lot. It's a lot of fun.
I'm telling you.
Ghana had stopped Nigeria from the last World Cup qualification, and Ghanaians peppered Nigerians.
Last night?
Not last night, but I'm building up to this.
Okay.
So Ghana didn't have a great AFCON, and Ghana were eliminated, since. And Nigerians have been bantering. Nigerians have been playing other nations, but bantering Ghana.
Cooking Ghanaians.
Yeah, cooking Ghanaians. You play Cameroon, you cook Ghanaians.
Roasting.
You play Angola, you go and roast Ghanaians.
Guinea-Bissau,
you roast, you beat South Africa, you remember to roast Ghana. Now, so some of us, we stayed off social media after the final. I have not even gone to social media yet to see what is going on there.
No, that's not fair.
I'm hoping that Ghanaians will be mild in the roasting. But that's the thing. So we're back to our to matters that concern all of us now.
Yes.
The rush, the adrenaline of AFCON successes so far has come back to earth. As in,
I don't clear.
Our eye don't clear. It don't finish, right?
Yeah.
And thankfully we can concentrate, because if we had won the final, perhaps we'll be thinking about celebration for the next couple of weeks. And then, do you understand? There'll probably be a party.
Absolutely.
More stuff to
to distract us, maybe.
Distract us and shield us from the real wahala way they ground, like they say.
Yes, but boss, both countries have similar challenges.
Yes, don't they?
Yes, both countries have similar challenges. The Ghanaian man who yaps the Nigerian man about economy, about politicians.
It's amazing what has suddenly happened to the Ghanaian economy.
It's really, really terrible.
Yeah.
And the South Africans too, when they call Nigeria Generator Republic, we remind them that they're having their own load shedding too.
Don't mind them,
which is the worst in history. We have common problems and issues, and I enjoyed the banter.
Yes, I do too.
I enjoyed it, but
it's fun.
But at some point, it became a bit. We're close to the edge.
Yeah. It tends to go off toxic. But the good. Some people take it a little too personally, but then some voice of reason probably come in and remember why we have such history. In football, for instance, the Ivorians are not so much our rivals as the Ghanaians are. In fact, the Cameroonians, who have stopped us 3 times in the final of the Nations Cup before, have won it in our stead. Do we have that rivalry going? But there's nothing like the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana.
Sibling rivalry.
Yeah, we're siblings, and we like them. They are cousins, and we have similar problems. But also, like us, they too have their highs and their lows and all of that. And they've had quite a high in recent years, which has now dipped.
But I tell you what. I was in Ghana in 1996. I left for a few years after June 12th.
Okay.
Do you know that the entire nation poured out into the streets when Nigeria won the Atlanta 96 Olympic Games.
I can imagine.
Oh my God. I remember hearing jubilation.
I can imagine.
When a team scores a goal and you hear every home.
Yes, most certainly.
Oh, yeah.
And that was in Ghana.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the heartbreak when that eternally artless fellow called Luis Suarez had stopped Asamoah Gyan's penalty. When he touched the ball in the box, got sent off, and that penalty, and when Asamoah Gyan missed that penalty, I remember how heartbroken Nigerians were.
Yeah,
it was like that happened to Nigeria. So it's a good thing. But AFCON behind us now. Let's talk about the issues at hand, and there are a lot of them. And I know you've dealt with most of what's been going on and the news and the issues of Gaza continue. There are other power issues everywhere. And what's that thing about the IMF? What are they saying about Nigeria again?
Well, it seems they're saying that the summary for me is that it might get worse before it gets better. What I saw on the front page of the Punch this morning, Nigeria facing worsening economic crisis. According to the IMF, it means it might get worse before it gets better. But the report, if you look at some part of it, as quoted in this article in Punch, seems to be giving the federal government commendation for the economic policies they implemented, the economic policies they implemented to try and stabilize the economy. And they seem to say we might not be seeing the fruit yet because of the global climate, but that the government is doing the right thing, is what they're saying.
Yeah. We hope. It's just that, sometimes the masses don't really believe international agencies. Some of those international agencies that push Nigerian government to take stringent measures that make the lives of the common people difficult, to just so that they can fall between certain ratings and all of that. But it's a good thing to know that at least somebody somewhere is saying government is putting things in place. However, the forecast doesn't look so good. It's called worsening economic crisis. We don't know how bad it will go before it gets better. We'll keep our fingers crossed and follow through. We know what the Naira is saying against the dollar now. All indications suggest that it's going to get much worse than that. And I have no idea how bad it will get before it gets better. But we'll see.
We pray. We hope. We hope. We don't even want to think about how bad it will get. But I'm thinking about the Nigerians out there. The people in this country who are living from hand to mouth, who were living from hand to mouth before. Yeah. And how are they coping today?
The distance between hand and the mouth has reduced. A lot of people are literally living, miles away from their mouths because you can't afford anything. And if you are, and you will know it, especially if you have lots of dependents, you can tell that you may be fortunate, you may be okay, you may work in a sector where there's a steady flow of income. You may be a thriving business person, so you may have some cushion, or you may have stashed up quite a fortune in the past, and you don't feel it yet. But you only need to look at the people around you to tell how bad it is. People who were struggling to put food on the table before are now running completely out of options, and people that you knew who would die upon their shield than ask before are forced to ask now. It just tells you everything you need to know about the financials. And think about it. How much do you earn? $1 million? $2 million? $5 million a month? Okay, good for you. But in the last 24 hours, your spending power has already has been halved. At the very best case scenario, your spending power has been halved. So what it means is that your 5 million is now 2.5 in value. Your 2 million is now 1 million in value. And I was saying this to somebody. So if you were if you earn 1 million some months ago, your 1 million was very nearly $2,500. Not so long ago, at 400 naira to the, at 400 naira to the dollar, just months ago. Your 1 million naira was $2,500. Now it's less than $500. That's what you earn in a month.
Terrible.
It's less than 500. So you're literally earning $350 a month. You might still say good for you. Good for you. There's a lot of people in Nigeria cannot boast of $100 a month. And that's a shocking reality.
It's terrible. Terrible. People are going to bed hungry. People are not eating.
There are people. How much is $10 now?
These are people who go to work.
How much is $10 now? About 15,000.
Yeah,
right.
Terrible.
So 15,000. People are still on 50,000 in this country. You know what that means? That means there are people who earn, like, I don't know. It blows your mind away when you think about it.
Even a minimum wage,
yes.
Is how much is that? That's it's not even up to $30.
Yes, so
in a whole month.
Yes, so less than $30 in a whole month. And there are people who would be happy to even have that 30,000 naira in this country, who would if they have that 30,000 naira, at least they have something to build on. People just do not have it. And so for the common man, because we are all common men, and we, I don't know how to say this. If you are not a multimillionaire in Nigeria right now, you're already down. You don't understand, and there are different levels of downing. So you are down, and it goes all the way down. And so, I'm a salary earner, and I know how much my spending power has been heavily affected. But therein lies the conversation. What do we do in these times? What do we do? The naira is frowning. The streets are not smiling. However, amidst the gloom, the sun is still shining. Or the sun is still shining. The sun is shining.
That's a tongue twister there.
The sun is shining. This is an indication that you have an opportunity to make it through, irrespective of what the circumstances are. But before you can see the opportunities in the land, well, if there is a log in your eyes, you must remove it. So, Kofi and I bid you welcome to the Fintex show this week. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels, and we are talking non-oil export, fintech, and fintech peripherals. And of course, every Monday we are joined by Niyi Adeosun, our export coach, and producer Razak Olayegbe. Nigeria continues to happen to most of our people. The gentlemen are still commuting to our studios as we speak. But let me sample and see. Hello, good morning, Niyi. How are you doing?
Yes, Femi. Good morning. Nice to talk to you this morning.
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. Even though, an old colleague of mine used to say there is nothing good about the morning. What is good about the morning?
I know.
And sometimes you ask yourself, okay, where do we go from here? Razak, are you there? Good morning, brother.
I'm here. Good morning. I'm better than gold.
All right. Okay. Every week we stream this live on Facebook and YouTube. Go to Nigeria, search for Nigeria Info. You will find the live stream. Today you'll probably, at this time, see more of myself and Kofi Bartels in the studio. But Niyi, if I could, as you continue your commute, if I could ask you, in my opening comments, I talked about opportunities in the land. And somebody is wondering, what is this one talking about? What am I talking about? What are the opportunities that you see? Because I'm just saying things out of the assurances that you and Razak have given me. So what are those opportunities? Turn down the volume on your end so we could avoid the hallback.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Oh, clearly. Go ahead, my brother.
So thank you very much, and thank you to our listeners. Truly, yes, because it happened to us as usual because of commute and all. Yeah, so all we talk about most of the time are opportunities around non-oil export, right? Because, I mean, the opportunities in the oil sector are being taken over by some other people, but there are a lot of opportunities around the non-oil export, all right? When we're talking about non-oil export, we're talking about being able to, export things that people are used to on their daily lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about exportation of food. We've talked about exportation of agro produce. These opportunities abound everywhere in Nigeria. I've said it over and over again that no Nigerian has any business with poverty as long as you're ready to do the work. Okay, there's work that is required to be done. There's knowledge that is required to be taken. You take knowledge in that can help you. So, and again, I mean, you were talking about the IMF earlier this morning, and all that can come to mind is, and this is something you've talked about a couple of times, as the preludes of the previous editions this year, what the statistics are saying for the year. So it's going to get tougher. All right. Life is going to be more unbearable, and you have to take a decision. You have to take a step, all right? And the way to go about that is to do exports, all right? To do exports. Food exports, agro-produce exports. You talk about cashew, you talk about crayfish, you talk about puli-puli, you talk about plantain flour, you talk about just anything. Because as long as Nigerians are out of this country, as many as they are with the Japa syndrome, like we talk about all the time, there'll be a need for people to take advantage of these opportunities so that our people can get the kind of food they want.
I'm just thinking, this world is divided into two categories of humans, buyers and sellers. The people who buy and the people who sell.
Yep.
Now, sometimes I like to ask myself, in what category do I fall? Am I more of a buyer or am I more of a seller? Yeah. The truth of the matter is, if you find yourself mainly in the classification of a buyer, you're already in trouble. Automatically, you are in trouble.
Very true.
Everybody should be selling something. Now, I can understand that you, apart from goods, you also sell services, you sell your expertise, you sell your abilities and all of that. All well and good.
Yeah.
But you see, if your buying overwhelms your selling, you are already messed up. So let's say you are on a job, and let's say you earn anywhere, let's be fair, let's even put you in a good category. You earn anywhere from $500,000 and above. You might say, month on month, I should be able to take care of my necessities, depending on what those necessities are. But the point is, when you do the math, the calculation, everything, when you set aside what your annual rent is, and you set aside 1/12 of it, because there are 12 months, divide it into 12. Take that aside. Take your cost of feeding. Take your cost of transportation. Put it aside. Take your cost of clothing, shoes, and all of that, medicals, everything. What is left? Where does it get you? We'll talk about that when we come back right after this break. Niyi and Razak, stand by on Nigeria Info.
All right.
More talk, more right after this.
Ida of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you dey whine me.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along in this office, Abi?
Jerry, now you dey talk like this. Who doesn't want an extra stream of income? But I'm still looking for better trading conditions, I beg. Fast execution of my trades and possibly an account where swap no go carry all my profits where I no know.
Guy, hfm.com.
For me, I wouldn't mind better spreads at all, and it won't be a bad idea to be able to make withdrawals in a flash.
All we want is transparency and great customer service.
Guys, I said HFM.com.
Which one is HFM.com again?
Switch to HFM today to enjoy ultra-fast execution, 1 to 2,000 leverage, tight spreads, swap-free, and more.
Guy, show us the way now.
Wait, are you sure deposits and withdrawals are sharp?
I said
HFM.com.
Visit www.hfm.com. HFM, online trading at its finest.
Buy the special Ovaltine pack with 4 sachets and 1 free for every school day. That's not all. Ovaltine is enriched with calcium, vitamin B12, and malt to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Are you ready to study overseas in the UK? Boost your career by studying a 1-year master's at the University of Stirling in Scotland. Stirling is ranked top 20 in the UK for postgraduate teaching. We offer a £4,000 Nigeria Master's Scholarship, and you may be eligible to work in the UK for up to 2 years after completing your degree. Visit University of Stirling online to apply for a master's starting in September or January.
If the pain and the ache, they cause you wahala, make you use rub. When kata and the cold, they give you palava, make you use rub. When your muscle they ache and you want fast relief, make you use rub. Just rub and the pain go sharp, rub it, pay down.
Alright, yo fam, my name is brother Shaggy aka Mr. Rob. And I can't tell you, say Rob, they deliver fast and long-lasting relief for muscle aches, joint pains, and symptoms of cold and catarrh. Robin, pay out.
Win big with First Bank. 170 million naira up for grabs. Open an account, deposit 5,000 naira for 30 days. Transact 5 times on our digital channels and stand a chance to win 100,000 naira monthly. Or deposit 50,000 naira monthly for 4 months for a chance to be the 1 million naira grand finale winner. Join First Bank's Win Big promo now. This promo runs till February 23rd, 2024. Open to new and existing account holders. Terms and conditions apply. You first. First Bank.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube Buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying YouTube made for you.
Who says you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One play, don't talk to 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. You want to tell you well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big from 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347*880*3#. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347*880*3#. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
See, I be sure to cut my star. I know they like long thing at all. That is why *919# from UBA be my sure party. It no get any transaction where I won't do. Why not go use *919#? Whether I won't buy airtime o, na *919#. Whether I won't buy data, na *919#. Whether I won't quick send money to my papa or I want run small jollyment for my DSTV something, na still *919#. And you want sabi why this thing dey sweet me for body? Na say I no need the data. I no need hotspot. Whether na 99 Pro Max or na Palace at 3310, na *919# from UBA. Now be my shop party. No go sleep on top bicycle o. Make yourself begin enjoy *919# from UBA today.
For quick and easy solutions, just dial *919# to use UBA's USSD platform. Get your simple transactions done, from transfers to bill payments to airtime and data purchase. *919# as you covered. UBA, Africa's global bank.
I Beg to Differ Season 7 is about to start. 32 debaters selected from a pool of over 200 entries. 33 topics drawn from various facets of life. One winner, 1 million naira. Join Femi Obong-Daniels and me Mondays to Thursdays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. to catch every show. For sponsorship, call 070-3498-4352 or send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ Season 7, a tournament of champions.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Investment full ground, oh. Service where you feel trust, oh. It's time to live the good life, oh. Secure the bag with I Invest. I Invest, oh. With I Invest, secure the bag. I Invest, oh. With I Invest, hey, secure the bag. I Invest, oh. With I Invest, secure the bag. With I Invest, oh. The bag. I Invest, oh.
Yes, I Invest is one way to build lasting wealth. Buy Nigerian equities. Get higher interest rates on fixed deposits and savings. Visit www.i-investng.com to access a wide range of other financial products that offer good returns on your investments. All transactions are done through regulated financial institutions. I Invest. Let's help you secure the bag.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. This is Nigeria Info. And just before the break, we're talking about, a whole lot about where we are in the stream of time. I saw one message somebody sent to our studio say, Nigerians have hit, after AFCON, Nigerians have hit factory reset. Government in trouble again. And in the last couple of weeks, some people have even forgotten government and the president and whatever and what or what not. And here again, I don't know how it is. You say the Romans learned that games was a good way of keeping their people off their backs. So the emperors will declare days of games. Sometimes many days, 60 days, non-stop, 100 days, non-stop of games at the Colosseum. And that was all that took the people's interest away. And once the games were over, people would begin to disturb them again and ask them questions. And then there was this uncanny thing where the government, were times when they were considering games in perpetuity. and which is what we face today. You go from AFCON, soon you go to Olympics, you go to World Cup, you go to this, and as long as your country is participating, and you forget your problems for a while. But it's like alcohol, right? We shouldn't be talking about alcohol at this time, so we are not promoting it. People who hide from alcohol to get relief from their troubles, they soon find that once the influence wears off, those problems never left, and now they are, you have to deal with them with a fuzzy head.
Makes it even worse.
So here we go again, and I went through our advertising, and like I was saying, what's all that advertising urging you to do? Buy. I mean, we're happy for advertisers, they keep us in business. But what all advertising is telling you is to buy. Make you part with money. Everything is geared towards taking money from you. You yourself, what are you doing to take as much money as is available from different places? Oh, you earn a salary. Oh, congratulations, I'm happy for you. But is that where it ends? Ali Baba once spoke of a friend of his, a banker, comfortable guy. For some reason, I'm not sure where that thought came from. whether it was his wife, decided to start doing small biscuits, cookies, small cookies, home-baked cookies, that small. By the time that couple realized what they were up to, when they discovered they were making about 3 million naira a day of profit.
One day?
On biscuit, yes. Biscuit.
Lagos?
Yes. 3 million. It's market share. Think about it. How many people are in Lagos? Conservatively, let's say 20 million, right? 20 million. Let's say you render a service that caters to 10% of 20 million. What's 10% of 20 million?
2 million.
2 million. 2 million. And you are selling biscuit. How much do they sell biscuit now? Average, I'm not talking about the fancy ones, though. The
long one.
These small ones now. Some small ones that small.
Okay. Those little.
Yes.
I don't know. How, things change in the market every other week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe
100 naira.
Maybe 100. Maybe 100.
So let's say it's 100 naira for a biscuit. Let's say your cost of production is 80 naira. Everything moving around is 80 naira. Your profit margin on a biscuit is 20 naira.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 20 naira. Okay, do the math. And let's say you sell your biscuit to 10% of Lagos every day.
2 million people.
Yes.
Average.
2 million people. Average.
So making
20 naira to 2 million people.
That's 40 million.
So that's too much. That's
40 million.
So
naira.
let's say you only make one.
Wait, 2 naira to 20 million people.
To 2 million people.
20 naira to 2 million people.
Yeah.
That's 40 million naira.
That's too much. That's too much profit in a day. So let's say people are making it, but it's too much profit.
Right.
It doesn't, because I want to use something that makes sense to the common man there. So let's say you make 1 naira, just 1 naira, as profit from each unit you sell in a day. So if I say you are selling to 10% of Lagosians, maybe that's too much. Let's say you are selling to 1% of Lagosians. What is 1% of Lagosians?
Assuming there are 20 million Lagosians.
Yes.
That would be maybe 200,000.
200,000. 200,000. If you are making 1 naira on profit and you are selling to 1% of Lagosians every day, and you are making 1 naira profit,
that should be 20,000 people actually.
That should be 20,000 people.
Yeah. Because if you're selling to 10%, that would be 200,000.
10% is 2 million now. So 1% will be 200,000.
1% of 20 million. Yeah, 200,000. Sorry.
So if you have the production capacity, and you see, I'm talking about you are selling biscuit too. And to sell biscuit, you don't need to own a bakery, right? You don't need to own a bakery. Why do you need to own a bakery? You just need to get your raw material and find an existing bakery or an existing confectionery that you could produce for you. So let's say you sell 200,000 pieces of cookies to suppliers every day. How much is that?
Just
1 naira.
1%.
Yes, 1% of Lagos.
So you're making your profit is 1 naira off.
And I'm just saying 1 naira because it's not 1 naira. We are selling the biscuit at 100 naira, right? Let's say your profit is 10 naira.
10 naira.
Yeah.
So that's 2 million naira.
That's
per
2
day.
million naira per day.
Assuming each of the 1% buys one cookie.
Only one cookie.
So the one who says I have a household of 5.
Yes.
Buys 5.
Yes. So the thing, and I'm using biscuit for a reason, because unlike shoes or shirts, you eat the biscuit today, you need to buy another one tomorrow, right? It's why they're called fast moving consumer goods, FMCGs. Okay? So just do the math. And the people who have rocked this, they found out a long time ago. And the whole essence of our conversation is you've got to sell something. And because our naira is now rubbish, it helps you if you can sell something to the global market, where you have the potential of some global currency that has some measure of weight. Everybody wants to earn some dollars, some pounds sterling. I know there's this conversation about how much dollars you can keep in your domiciliary account.
I was about to say, I didn't want to be politics. So when you make your USD from your foreign business, the government is saying, you know, it's better if you change it back to naira.
Back to naira.
About Simbok.
You know that kind of thing. You say, yes. Oh, great idea. You first. You first. But here's the thing. I have 4 sons, and they all love games, including the 3-year-old who's just starting out on life. And every time I see my kids play games, you know what I tell them? I said, this game you are playing, it's probably, the person who wrote that program is probably a kid like you. I don't like comparing kids. Do you understand? But what I say, the person is probably a kid. And every time you log on that game, that person is making money. Every time you play that game. So I challenge my kids. I will be like, I want to see who will be the first to code a game. Code your own game. Yeah. The learning is there. It's free. There are free sites. If you take some of this internet you are wasting playing game, go online and look for free coding classes. Beginners. You know, you can start to code. You can, and to even help, we have this family WhatsApp group where I wrote an idea for a game and sent it to my guys. I noticed that, I noticed that they are already trying to code it. Wow. I don't understand the language, but I know that my boys are trying to code that game. But the point we're making is you've got to sell something. If you constantly buy and you don't sell, you are in trouble. Which takes me back to Ni and Razak. Ni, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, brilliant. So you see the analogy that I made. We talked about these opportunities. Last week we had talked about the fact that these opportunities have not been taken advantage of. As a matter of fact, some people have refused to take advantage of them, and the opportunities are massive. And to be honest with you, I'm as guilty as some people. Sometimes you start something and you're like, why didn't I start this 5 years ago, 2 years ago, or 10 years ago? Why don't you make a move? Why can't I sell biscuit, for instance? Or why can't I make some nice biscuit, package it? Even though I don't want to sell it in Nigeria, why can't I package some nice biscuit and sell to Nigerians, call it one local name? And I'm not, call it Wazobia if you like. Call it pepper biscuit or something. There's an African audience abroad who will buy it, and those cents they buy it for add up significantly considering where the currency is. Am I making any sense, Nee?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have said it better, actually. So just to add, after the break, when you try to open people's eyes to the concept of buying and selling, and the question is, where exactly are you? Mm-hmm. Are you a consumer or a producer? Mm-hmm. So it is the producer that has the money. Mm-hmm. It is the producer that has the money. It is the producer that gets rich. So you just have to make up your mind.
And guess who makes the producer rich? You, the consumer.
Yeah. The consumer makes the producer rich. So if people are talking about wealth, people complain a lot, all right? And you tell them what to do. A whole lot of them won't do what you tell them to do. For you to become wealthy, for you to change your financial status, you must move from being a consumer to a producer. I mean, while you were just saying what you're saying now, I mean, that is the simplest of it. Can't you have a peppered biscuit, for example, all right? Can't you have, peppered kuli is there, right?
Yeah.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you hear people tell me, all the audiences that reach out to me and tell me, I have one kuli that is alata sweswe.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So,
yeah.
So you want to taste that tingly taste of pepper while you eat your kuli. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
And what does it take to do these things, all right? Mm-hmm. There are people who are in the north, all right, who have access to a lot of groundnuts, okay? You look through your network, all right, and don't complain. Get your hands on the top and do something. Do something that will change your financial situation. This is the best we can do, all right, to educate people, to share knowledge with them and tell them, okay, again, I mean, the data should come to our community. So it's not just that we're telling you that you can do this all by yourself, because that is the problem people have. Mm-hmm. People don't know what to do. So there's a community. We will hold hands with you. We will train you. All right? We'll train you. All right? Teach you things. Open your eyes. Like I said in the last episode, the times are hard.
Yeah.
This is not the time to make anybody of their money. The goal of this show, when we started it, was to change people's lives.
Yep.
That was the goal.
Yep.
All right?
It still is.
And you just have to make up your mind. It may cost you something, but you have to choose where you want to put your resources in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I can say. I can say that just get ready. Make up your mind. There is support for you. There's support for you. There's a large community we have that would hold your hands and tell you, okay, look, it's possible. This is how to go about it. And at the end of the day, your story will change. That's what it is.
All right. Razak, I know you are a man of numbers and you've been following this conversation. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this conversation so far.
Razak could have loved to speak, but
okay.
He's manning the steering.
He's manning the steering. Okay. Before they would arrest him and add to the problem that we already have. Okay, but so here is me pondering and thinking now, and you just touch on the next line of questioning that I wanted to go into because people will listen and then they will say, yes, how I wish I could even find some money to start something, anything. Okay. Where will I start from? What kind of money am I looking at? I remember that last year when we started this program, I remember you saying at that time that with 50,000 you could even start something. And look, we are not kidding. There are some people who will say, when was the last time I actually saw 50,000? Like 50,000. And some people, if you're not a salary owner, salary earner, or you do some business at some small, there are some people who legitimately, if 50,000 naira hits their account, then they will feel that they will feel okay. Sometimes these things are hard to imagine, but that is the reality from talking to people.
Very true.
And you said something that made sense to me. Putting in the work. You didn't say look for money first. Put in the work. Sometimes the work is the investment is in the hard work, going where you need to go, searching for what you need to search for, and it could be very much as this is my hometown that I go to visit, and when I go, I will look for money, gather all the money that I've saved. I will go there to show off, to spend money so that people think I'm doing well in Lagos or Abuja or in Port Harcourt. What if I change my orientation? Instead of going there to save money, I carry this money. I go to my village and I go to the places where I know the local resources are. I assess what kind of resources I have. I look for my family members who I can trust, who will help me gather these resources. Then, because I have heard on radio that there is a market for it, and I'm going to ask the questions and all of that. Does that make sense, Nii? I need to know because you are the coach.
So while you were talking, I was smiling and probably just grinning here, right? And so I can go on and on and on and on talking about the value chain of export. So people think that when you talk about exports, it's like, oh, you have to start buying stuff and start exporting. No. I didn't start export overnight. So the first thing I started doing was, I'm somebody that likes book, like we say in our balance here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I used to read a lot, okay? So once you acquire knowledge, it will change your life. What did I start to do? I started export with learning how to source for produce. Sourcing, just sourcing. And I was making money. So I'll bring a buyer and a seller together, and I'll drop an agreement between the two buyers, between buyer and the seller, and I get a commission for it.
Just by being the middleman.
Yeah, so just being the middleman. I remember then I'll make like 150,000 naira from brokerage, right? Yeah. Now, nobody taught me. I did not go to any school of export. I didn't go to any school. I self-studied because I like to read. Now, I talked about you being able to do export with 50,000, and I'll never stop talking about it. I've talked about kuli, so let me streamline it to groundnut. We are doing an export this February as I speak to you.
Okay.
One of the things that we're exporting is groundnut.
Okay.
Roasted groundnut. All right?
Yeah.
Imagine somebody who has Gary Jebu in his house, why wouldn't he buy groundnut to drink Gary Jebu as long as he's a black man that is a Nigerian?
Yeah.
He will remember home.
Yeah.
So with 50,000 naira, what does it take you? You buy your groundnut, you buy your plastics, you do your branding. It's not going to be up to a container. It may be just 10 cartons of groundnut you're able to make. And trust me, within 60 days, it will be on the soil of the United States of America. And you start to wonder that, really, is this impossible? Oh, yes, it is possible. So when we're talking about export, if you remember at the beginning when I was telling you, or telling the audience, I talked about being a personal shopper. Okay, that is being able to buy stuff for friends and family who tell me, okay, please go and buy me ugu, buy me all that, from the market, all right? That's being a personal shopper. That is the lowest scale of being an exporter, right? We can teach you about how to get even people that do not know you, all right? In fact, you can start to do export with zero capital. When we say these things, people think it's not true. It is true. It is true. Because we'll not come on air and come and tell you lies. It's the truth. But are you willing to bury your head down? Yeah, because, and again, I understand the challenges in the system.
Yeah.
People need to, first of all, feed. Okay, so people are dealing with being able to survive. You understand? But if you focus on just being able to survive, you won't go anywhere.
Yeah, you would always be focusing on just being able to survive.
Yeah, because something has to give. I mean, look, if I tell you the story about how I got into exports and all of that, a lot of things gave. I had to let some things go. It was never convenient for me. But I told myself that this is the way to go. Again, if you need to talk, let me tell you one of the most interesting things about the fact that I teach people how to do export. Let me tell you.
Tell me.
Every time you mention to people that you're an export coach, people get excited. Oh, so if I learn export now, I'll be able to earn foreign currency. Yes, you will. That's one. Look, if you take a training from us, you will boldly go and meet your cousin to give you 50,000 naira. Do you know why?
Yeah.
He knows very, very well that you will come and pay that money.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come back in foreign currency. I mean, it's so bad that I tell people that, look, if you pay for training, for example, now, all right, it will take you to sell about two tubers of yam to cover the cost of that training. And that training stays with you for life. Okay, so you have to make up your mind. You have to make it's a choice. All right, between you saying that you want to live where you want to keep living the same way, but as long as you keep living the same way you're living, please do not expect a different result. That's all I can say.
All right, another conversation I wanted, because I've run completely out of time for next time, is you would think that one of these financial institutions will be able to even provide route funding for these people who are interested, who go through the motions, who take the training, if they have some certification and all of that. I think we should talk about that another day. Some soft loans here and there, 50,000, 500,000, those small things for people who really want to do it but do not know how to do it. Because I've run out of time, I'll just drop a number so you can call Coach Niyi, ask him questions, not call, WhatsApp 0912 171 2885. Again, that's 0912 171 2885. I personally belong to that community. 0912 171 2885. Ask the questions you need via WhatsApp, not text messages or WhatsApp, and not phone calls. Niyi, thank you for doing this. But remember, you and Razak, how can people who are serious about this, but who genuinely don't have any other source of financing, how can we get soft loans? Is there something that can be done? Are there financial institutions that we can partner to say, let us, where possible?
So just to quickly say that, okay, by the way, we're just right in front of your office.
Oh, okay. But we got to go. I got 10 seconds, actually.
Yeah, I know. So what I'm saying is that there's an opportunity for group export.
Okay.
All right.
Group export.
Oh, yeah. So people can do group export. All right.
All right.
Companies together, export goods. So that cushions your experience.
Okay. Niyi, we'll talk about it next time. Enjoy the rest of the week, Nigeria.
Let me see. I found Daddy's will with a letter addressed to me.
Really?
Yes, son. By the time you read this, I would have been long gone. Just know that I have taken care of your education with Cornerstone Children Education Fund. Daddy!
Yes, my dear.
I read your letter.
It's okay. You are...
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3